Now, before we even begin, I just want to say I'm sorry, but I have to ask you, have you ever tried to eat the toilet? One of God's most underappreciated creatures. And today I'm gonna teach you just why you f***ing love the toilet. The toilet is one of those mundane places that you don't really think about that much, but in video games, a toilet can be anything from a portal to another dimension to a murder weapon. My first special experience with a video game toilet came in the form of the facility level in GoldenEye, as you sneak through the vents of a Russian base, shooting Russians in the head. And that just blew my mind as a kid. It just immediately made this virtual level into a real place just because other people were there, taking a dump. Like I do. Using the power of my brain, I have compiled the list of four categories of which you can put toilets in. I'm sure that's correct grammatically. Those categories are gross, scary, cool. One of these are cool, and sweet relief. Let's kick it off with gross. Let's talk about the saddest creature in all of existence. In Banjo-Kazooie, there is a level called Mad Monster Mansion. It's a Halloween-themed level. Now in this mansion, there is a toilet, of course. The thing is, this toilet is alive. Yeah. Meet Logo. Logo is a cross between an Eldritch Abomination and an American Standard Champion 4. Yes, that is a toilet brand, and yes, I do my fucking research. Now, as a kid, I was fucking amazed by this because there was a toilet that could speak. I could understand it. It could understand me. We could have an emotional connection because we were so alike. Like we were both full of shit. In addition to that, Logo is also a doorway to another dimension. Well, not as much a dimension, but as another area that I could explore. Of course, I had to turn into a pumpkin first, and that just... A few years later, when I grew from a young bearded child to a young bearded adult, I started thinking, because that's not something I do as a child. And I realized that the only reason this toilet exists is to eat shit. Of course, on the topic of consuming shit. Are you playing Fallout 3 right now? No? Well, I didn't really expect you to, but I mean, transition. You're playing Fallout 3, right? You're playing survival. You need food, you need water, but you have crossed the wasteland and you can't find a damn thing. Now, you can choose to die from dehydration or live on after drinking this nice toilet sauce. I mean, certainly, you will probably get your fair share of diseases like Super AIDS, the West Nile virus, I think that's a thing, and Ultra AIDS.
You very much.
You're getting Ultra AIDS. In addition to that, in Silent Hill, you also have the scene where, for some inexplicable reason, the main character, the protagonist, the person you are controlling, sticks his hand into the toilet because he knows. Of course he does. This is a video game, of course he knows. He knows that there's an item in that toilet sauce. It's fucking disgusting. They even made a reference to that in Silent Hill 3, where the young lady has the good sense not to put her hand down.
Oh, forget it. This is way too gross. Who would even think of doing something so disgusting?
The genre that really makes the most out of this intimate setting is clearly horror games. Because you're just there, right? You're just working with your body, excreting some waste, and then boom! There's a fucking hand. The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask, which is, in my opinion, one of the, if not the greatest Zelda game ever, and I Will Fight You, has a specific moment where you can enter a communal toilet. And in that toilet, there's a fucking hand begging for paper. And apparently this is a thing in this Zelda universe, because in Skyward Sword, you have this thing pop up again. You have a ghostly hand on the toilet, which is again begging for paper. Yeah, that's some scary shit, man. Because when you're on the toilet, you're in a vulnerable. When you're on the toilet, you are in a position of weakness. Maybe you just want to see if there's some ammo in that bathroom. And then, after you pick it up, you hear a sound coming from one of the stalls. And as you move past, the door bursts open and the zombie is there to encroach on your personal space, to give you the worst French kiss you have ever experienced. Now let's talk about some cool shit. The GoldenEye level facility, which we already talked about, gets extra Baird points because not only was it a cool place to explore, it also doubled up as a multiplayer level, which you can play with your bitch-ass brother Michael, who always fucking screen peeked. Fuck you, Michael. In the newer Hitman games, you can actually use the toilet as a murder weapon. You can actually drown people in their own pee. In the game Perfect Dark on the Nintendo 64, there's a secret within a secret, because you have this hidden strip club, which was just mind-blowingly cool as a kid, just straight up. If you go to the bathroom in this strip club, you can find a piece of cheese laying in one of these toilets. That's not how you store cheese. I mean, fuck. Cheese needs to be stored someplace dry, and you have to wrap it properly so that the It's not all bad though. In a few games, the toilet is a place where you can relieve yourself. And I don't necessarily mean in that way, but in Dead Rising, for example, and in No More Heroes, the toilet is used as a save point. That's a very natural progression of, or extension, I suppose, of life. The fact that you can take a moment to just reflect on your journey and save your progress. In the Persona games, every time you enter the toilet, you got a little extra stat boost. There's not too many of these games, but that is the category of sweet, sweet relief. I'm just gonna lay it like that, lay it down here where it belongs. I mean, not on the floor, I'm clearly floating in some sort of area, which my editor is... I just want to say that I feel, after I've been on the toilet, that I've had a little stat boost. I always feel a little better. And it's only natural that the same would be true in video games. And that's the video, guys. I just want to say thank you for watching my video. I had a fucking blast making this, and I really, really want to just give a big shout out to all of my patrons who are helping me, supporting me in this. And if you want to get more of these videos as well, consider giving me some cash. on Patreon. Not only will it pay for the videos, it will also help me with my crippling Coke Zero addiction. That's how you sell Patreon. Telling people that you're an addict. Okay. Back on the chair. Get back on the chair. Focus lost. That's the wrong leg, but I don't care. Let's just get back on the stool. Your green stool.